What's up, FP Worship winning team? Hey, I first want to thank you all for creating spirit filled, anointed, and distraction free experiences, whether that be on Monday night at Celebrate, Tuesday at Infuse, Wednesday at Students, and especially on our Sunday morning and afternoon for Pellissippi experiences. I love you all so much. Thank you for your hard work in preparing week after week so people can meet God in a worship experience. Hey, I want to equip you with this video we know we've been doing these link ups as God has been moving on the earth and how we've seen him move on the Make Room weekend. This video is going to be a resource for you to be more prepared for when we make the calls to link up as a church family. It is a privilege that we even have the ability to come together via video streams to worship God together as one family. Now, although these weekends are typically organic and sometimes a last minute shift, we want to help put language and help equip you to be prepared for these specific weekends. The first type of link up weekend is broadcast only. Now, this is no multi-site teams on the platform, only the broadcast team leading that response time, leading that worship. So I want to speak to you first, broadcast worship leaders. First, do be led by the Spirit. Make sure that you are spiritually prepared and spiritually ready for stewarding a moment, and be mindful that this is being multiplied to all of our locations. So be the most prepared person on the platform. Whatever song that you have been tasked with to lead, do make sure you know that song backwards, forwards, left, and right. Make sure you know all the sections, all the calls that you may want to go into. And actually, if you will, please come in with a plan, the bones of a plan, constructed around that song that you can execute. Now, that doesn't mean we're not going to be flexible in the moment and be led by the Spirit, but do come in, because actually on those mornings where we know we're going to link up, the multi-site will take the feed to get audio levels, to make sure we can hear all the channels coming down. So please come in with a plan. You're ready to communicate to your MD. Better yet, reach out to them during the week before if you know that we're going to have this moment, and just come in with the plan and be led by the Spirit. Let's talk ad libs and singing out in the Spirit. Please be mindful to not stay too long in an ad lib, singing in the Spirit type of moment, because we are broadcasting across multiple locations. This isn't to say to not be led by the Spirit and watch the room, but it is to say be mindful of those moments. Just note that the movement live in the broadcast room might not be translating to the multi-site necessarily. Let's talk worship posture. Also, as well as your vocal coming across through the stream, you are on camera, right? So be mindful of your body posture, your worship posture at all moments. Do not get weary after we've done the service a couple of times. Stay locked into the moment. Stay engaged at all times, because you are the broadcast feed. Cool? Sound good? All right. Link up type 2 is broadcast feed with multi-site support. Now, this one is super important that we are all prepared. So I'm going to flip it and talk to our multi-site worship leaders first this time. So your expectations, you are stewarding the worship response moment at your campus. You need to be prepared as if you could be called upon to lead that particular song. Even though the broadcast worship leader and MD are making those calls, technology is technology, so if something were to happen, you should prepare as if you can take the reins at any moment. Please be as familiar as possible with the song that we're flowing on and be ready to jump in if you need to. Secondly, follow the MD's call. To eliminate distractions, please follow where the broadcast MD is calling for the band and vocals to go. This is paramount so that we are cohesively linked up, singing the same things together. Let's talk ad libs and singing in the Spirit for multi-site worship leaders. Be mindful if an interlude is called at the broadcast location by the MD. We're going to go into a moment where we can sing over people and ad lib. Do not be afraid to, at your location, sing out over the people, sing out a response over what you see happening in the room. Don't be afraid. Trust your audio engineer to manage the levels so it's not distracting, so you're not fighting over what's happening at the broadcast location. But do sing out in the Spirit and don't hold back. All right, broadcast worship leaders. In this scenario, where we're taking the broadcast feed and the multi-site is supporting, it is even more imperative that you come prepared with the bones of a plan of the song that we're flowing on together. Your calls to the MD are impacting multiple campuses at once. So please hear this. Be confident. Be confident with your calls. Give the calls in a plenty of time so the MD can communicate to all of our locations so we're all on the same page, moving together. It is also imperative, broadcast worship leaders, that you follow the call that the MD has communicated to the rest of the band. If you don't, this could cause a major distraction and confusion for our multi-site winning team and just for the congregation as a whole if we're singing two different things. So whatever you have thrown to the MD and whatever he has communicated, please follow that call. Let's talk again about ad-libs and singing in the Spirit. It is even more important in this scenario that you limit the length of the ad-libs and singing in the Spirit. Again, this is not to limit what God is doing, but to steward response for multiple locations at one time. A good rule of thumb would be no more than 8 bars of not singing a section of the song that we're in. Does that make sense? So we don't want to go more than 8 bars of just singing, ad-libbing interludes, right? So do be mindful of that. All right, link up type 3. This is called multi-site as primary. Now, although we haven't done this type of link up and don't do it super often, this is still an option and there's some things to be mindful of. We will most likely utilize this link up play to all sing a certain song together. Hey, we're doing a certain series and we want to cap it off with this specific song. We will use this link up option. Multi-site worship leader, you are the primary worship leader in your room. So your mic is the loudest and you are still following the calls of the broadcast MD, but you are leading your room as if we're on track at the top of the set. To remain together, you are following the broadcast MD as he or she calls the dynamics and the sections of the song. But again, you are in that moment leading out at your location. Hey, whatever the play is, I hope that you feel better equipped now when we're called upon to be flexible and make room for God. He is moving in a new way across this entire earth, and we will not miss it. We will continue to make room for him to move. We will continue to come together as a church body at all of our locations to glorify Jesus as one. I know it pleases God to see his kids linked up, unified in worship, and this is why we do it. He's worthy of it. I love you all so much. Thanks for watching.